In the studio with us, Javed Ansari, our executive editor. We are also joined by Siddharth Vardarajan, senior journalist, Manjeet Negi, for all that's taking place in Haryana. Now that the poll dates have been announced, Haryana is going to be on speed when it comes down to political campaigning. We're going to cut across to Manjeet Negi, my colleague from Mail Today. I'd like to quickly come across to Javed Ansari. The dates out at this point of time, 15th October, both states will go to polls. By 19th, we would know whether or not the Congress has been able to hold on to the last few political bastions that it has now.
Yes, indeed, and this is a tough call for the Congress party, and they'd be desperate to hold on to these states, because losing power in Maharashtra and Haryana would mean that their clout will come down, and they will have, their numbers will come down in a year or two in the Rajya Sabha as well. Their ability to influence events at the center will be greatly diminished. So the Congress will be hoping against hope and desperately trying to retain the foothold that it has both in Maharashtra and in Haryana.
Siddharth, coming to you, the Congress really wouldn't have wanted these elections because, by the way things have gone over the last couple of months, the last 2 months itself, from the BJP's thumping victory, these elections pretty much BJP has in their pocket, like something drastically needs to go wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to see what rabbit the Congress can pull out of its hat. In Maharashtra, the Prithviraj Chavan government has tried some of the old tricks of the Congress, or indeed of other parties, that you promise reservations to different categories of people, make all kinds of promises, but these don't seem to have captured the imagination of the masses. So I think that, and in Haryana, similarly, there's nothing much that the Hooda government can offer at this late stage. And just to add to a point Javed made, it's not just the loss of two politically important states and what this would mean to the party in those states and at the center, but Haryana and Maharashtra are also important.
I'm sorry to come in. We're cutting across Prakash Javadekar talking about the election dates being announced at the BJP headquarters. We're going to go to that and come right back to Siddharth.
एकदम जोरों पर होगी और आने वाले दिनों में हमारे सारे उम्मीदवार घोषित होंगे। बीड़ लोकसभा का उपचुनाव भी उसी दिन है जहां से मुंडे जी चुनकर आए थे और उनके असामयिक निधन के कारण ये सीट खाली हुई थी, तो उसका भी चुनाव उसी दिन है। तो हम चुनाव की घोषणा का स्वागत करते हैं। We welcome the announcement by the Election Commission to hold elections in the state of Maharashtra and Haryana on 15th of October. We are very sure and confident to win more than 2/3 of the seats going for polls, because people are angry and up and angry and ready for the change of regime. They will vote against the Congress and NCP government's corruption and loot of 15 years in the state of Maharashtra and Congress in Haryana, as well as they will give positive vote. They will give positive vote for the BJP in its alliance in these state elections. We welcome the decision and we are going with confidence to the voters with a positive agenda of development. Thank you.
BJP there welcoming the dates which were announced for both Maharashtra and Haryana. And why not, Siddharth? I'd like you to come in at this point of time. That kind of confidence clearly derived from a combination of factors: incumbency burden of the Congress regime and enthused BJP cadre, the debatable Namo factor there. So there are quite a few factors that the BJP has going for itself.
Well, in Maharashtra, the alliance, which was looking not rocky exactly, but it was looking a little bit under strain, right? With the Shiv Sena declaring that its leader would be the chief ministerial candidate of the alliance, and the BJP not very happy with that announcement. And then you had Amit Shah meeting with the Shiv Sena leadership and essentially, patching things up. So I think the BJP recognizes in Maharashtra that the value of its alliance with the Shiv Sena, that even though the party did comparatively better, the BJP did comparatively better in the Lok Sabha elections, but to win the state and to defeat the Congress-NCP alliance, particularly when you have an unpredictable factor like MNS in the fray, would require a rock-solid alliance with the Shiv Sena. And I think the BJP is quite confident that it's resolved its differences with the Shiv Sena. Haryana is a different kettle of fish. There the party initially felt that it needed to have an alliance with the Kuldeep Bishnoi's party, the Haryana Janit Congress. But then when Bishnoi reminded the BJP of promises that he said were made to him earlier, and that he should be the chief ministerial candidate and there should be lion's share of the seats given to the HAC, the BJP said, I'm sorry, we don't accept this. And the BJP hopes that Haryana's proximity to Delhi and to national politics may allow the party to defeat the Congress on its own steam. It will be a little bit more of a challenge for the party, but the point I was making before we moved to Javadekar was that Haryana and Maharashtra are important also because they contribute a significant amount to the coffers of the Congress party. So if the Congress loses the government in both of these two states, not only is it a political setback, but it is also a financial setback of sorts, whose political implications will be felt in the years ahead.
The political implication on the floor of the Rajya Sabha as well. I'd like to cut across to Mr. Manjeet Negi, my colleague from Mail Today. He is with us right now from Chandigarh. Manjeet, a certain amount of confidence and swagger that the BJP is going to go into these elections with. But do you reckon, can it be read as maybe a little bit of an overconfidence when we come down to the state of Haryana, breaking up of an alliance with Kuldeep Bishnoi's party, wanting to do it alone, hoping that the Namo factor is going to work? All of that, when you right now in the current sequence of events, and we're going to play the numbers out there, the BJP has only 4 seats in Haryana at the state level.
Well, Preeti, it will be a multi-corner contest this time. And the BJP has emerged as the strongest political party in the state during the recent general elections, but the winning elections will not be a cakewalk for the party. The upcoming assembly elections will be a test for Narendra Modi-led BJP government to ascertain its magic, whether the magic still prevails.
Okay, we seem to have lost our connection with Manjeet.
And I would like to tell you also that during previous elections...
Go ahead, Manjeet, go ahead.
Well, I would like to tell you that during 2009 elections, BJP had contested over 90 seats, and only 4 candidates had managed to win the elections, and the others had lost their deposits.
Okay.
So this was the condition.
All right. All right, stay on with us, Manjeet. I'd like to cut across back to the studio at this point of time. Javed Ansari is with us, giving us perspective on what is expected at this point of time. Javed, our colleague Manjeet says that the Narendra Modi factor very much rife at this point of time, even after the 100-day mark. Well, Bhupendra Singh Hooda, clearly the poll bugle right now been sounded, saying that he is eyeing a 3rd term where Haryana is concerned. For viewers who are just joining us, I want to take you through the latest developments that have taken place. The Election Commission just 10 minutes back has announced dates for Maharashtra and the state of Haryana. Both states will poll on the 15th of October, 19th of October will be counting. We will know whether or not Congress has been able to hold on to the last few remaining bastions that it has. Well, the BJP understandably extremely enthused. They've been looking forward to these elections. They wanted them earlier, if not at the time that they've come. Javed, you're talking about how, coming back from the by-elections that have taken place, the Narendra Modi factor has become a little debatable. Of course, there's anti-incumbency that the Congress is is suffering from in certain states. But when we come down to the Modi factor, do you think it's working?
We'll know for sure how much of it is working once the results are out. The honeymoon is still on. He still certainly enjoys a certain amount of goodwill. Whether that goodwill is good enough to carry the BJP to victory and allow them to form their first government on its own in Haryana, we will only know from on the 19th. Mr. Hooda sounded pretty confident, but let's not forget, he's been in power for 10 years. There's a certain anti-incumbency, and he also faces a lot of infighting within his party. Some of the senior leaders have left. Those who are Those who still remain are extremely disgruntled, sulking, sitting at home. So all that, these are factors that he'll have to contend with.
Right.
I'm not writing off his chances, but this will be his toughest selection yet.
It will be indeed, and I'd like to bring in Manjeet before we go to Siddharth Vardarajan at this juncture. Manjeet, very quickly, he's eyeing a third term. We just heard Bhupendra Hooda there stating that we're going to come back to power. But this is not going to be an easy one for Mr. Hooda as well. There is a certain amount of popularity that he enjoys where Haryana is concerned. A lot of people think that he's brought in a fair bit of development. But even then, this is going to be the toughest fight that he's had where Haryana is concerned.
Well, Preeti, Congress is facing actually a decade-long local anti-incumbency, but the Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda has also tried to influence a sizable chunk of the voters. So the latest was to influence the 16 lakh Sikh voters by announcing a separate Sikh body for them, and another was to influence around 27% voters at the Jat, announcing the reservations for Jats. So these two things are going to benefit the Congress, Preeti.
All right, appreciated Manjeet. Siddharth, when we look at alliances, both in Maharashtra and in Haryana, come for the Congress or the BJP, there is still a lot going on there, isn't it?
Well, the Congress has only the NCP really, and there too, as Javed pointed out at the start, the actual nitty-gritty of the alliance, the seat sharing, has yet to be worked out, and we know that there are tremendous problems in terms of each partner's demands that have to be accommodated somehow, and a happy agreement reached. The BJP is on a much stronger wicket. The Lok Sabha elections that it won, it did on the back of not just its alliance with the Shiv Sena, but also the Raju Shetty group. It's and RPI, so the danger factor here will be what the MNS does. The capacity of the MNS to damage the NDA's prospects is much greater in a Vidhan Sabha election, where the number of votes needed to make the NDA lose a seat is much less than was the case in the Lok Sabha elections. So I think that, having said that, the advantage still favors the coalitional arithmetic, clearly favors the BJP in Maharashtra, and for the same reason in Haryana the BJP is slightly disadvantaged. I think the BJP has not read the Bihar election results correctly, and I think its standoffish or slightly contemptuous attitude towards Kuldeep Bishnoi, which led to the breakup of the alliance, is going to cost the party. I think the party still has a reasonable chance of doing much better than the 4 seats it won the last time it went alone. But whether it's going to be able to form the government on its own, that remains to be seen. I think that Hooda is a more wily politician than Prithviraj Chavan, and probably has more aces up his sleeve. But the factional infighting within the Congress, is something which is going to seriously work against the Chief Minister as he seeks a third term.
All right, appreciate you gentlemen for joining us at this point of time. Of course, come 19th October, we will know the results. 15th October is polling in both states and 19th is counting. We'll keep getting our viewers the very latest. Appreciate Javed Ansari, Siddharth Vardarajan and my colleague Manjeet. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Our continuous coverage on the assembly dates being announced continues right here on the network. We'll keep getting you all the political reactions on the story. Do stay with us.